Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency, myinsuranccircle.com, 888-5027. I'm David Rice. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. That's Adam. Not really a lot on TV over the weekend because the Super Bowl's not until this coming Sunday.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I didn't really watch much. I watched wrestling. That was the only thing I watched that was on TV. But you watched an award show, I think, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasted my Sunday night watching the Grammys.
Why? Why'd you do that to yourself?
Well, I was watching golf before that on CBS, and Rory won at Pebble Beach,
Nice.
minus 21.
Wow.
And then right after that, the Grammys came on. And, I normally wouldn't watch it, but when it was the only thing on, but I normally wouldn't watch it because award shows nowadays, to me, they suck.
Yeah.
Especially after some of these awards at last night's Grammys.
Yeah.
Number one, I was very surprised. Taylor Swift got nominated for 6 or 7 Grammys. Guess how many she won?
How many?
0.
Oh, is that like your first time never winning one?
Probably your first time not winning anything.
Was Kelsey there?
No.
Ooh,
No,
he's getting ready for the Super Bowl.
No, I don't think he was.
Oh, he's getting ready for the Super Bowl.
But I tell you what, Kendrick Lamar won 5 Grammys.
Oh, good for him. That's good.
Yep.
That's good because that album's great.
You know Drake's going to have to drop the biggest response album of the decade to be able to respond to 5 Grammys.
Good luck.
Which we'll get into more later because Kendrick Lamar is performing at halftime of the Super Bowl.
Wow.
He's having a pretty good week.
Yeah,
One
not
Sunday
bad.
he wins 5 Grammys, and next week he's doing the Super Bowl. You can't get much better than that. You know what else can't get much better? We're starting to get into the thick of the high school basketball season right now. The conference races are really tight in the standings. And we have some great non-conference matchups that happen too around this time of year, mostly Saturday games or middle of the week. But on Saturday, to kick off the show today, Hanover Horton defeated top 10 in Division 4, state-ranked Lenawee Christian, 56-54 at the buzzer. And senior Luke Soper, who we had on the show at start of football season for Media Day, he dropped an absolute bomb with 45 points out of the team's 56. He scored 45. It's like Kobe. Just keep feeding me the ball.
Kobe.
That's fair. I mean, now he's only 7 more points away from being Hanover's all-time leading scorer after that. So, congratulations to Luke Soper and Hanover on their success this year. It's a really tight race right now in the Cascades West. Speaking of Hanover, they're still 2 games behind Columbia looking at the standings here. We'll get to the West in a second, but for the boys, the Cascades East first. Grass Lake, who we saw on Friday for the doubleheader, 15-0, 7 more games to go in the regular season. Can they do it? Can they do the perfect 22-0 season? They go from having a winless season in, I think, 2010 or 11, to not winning any district game for a long time, winning only one a handful of years ago. And now they're going to go 22-0. And we had we talked to Coach Norris last week. And he gives all credit to the team and to his guys out there. And it was a low-scoring game Friday against Napoleon. Wasn't the prettiest of games that we've seen on JTV all year.
I was going to say no. I mean, it took them a while to kind of get things moving and get things going, but eventually it worked, and they just were too far ahead of them and just too dominant.
Well, Grass Lake is kind of that team though. because coming into the game, they only averaged, I think, 51 or 52 points a game. They're one of those teams, though, that they rely on their defense, and they don't score a ton of points, but they're still going to find a way to win games. And when people say, defense wins games or defense wins championships, I think Grass Lake's a perfect example of that because really nowadays, at least in high school basketball and in this area, winning and having 50 points, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
How do they do that? But they're one of those teams that relies on their defense. They don't have guys on their team that average, 30 points a game. They don't have any real huge superstar basketball players on their team. And they're having a great year. And they are only 2 games ahead, still only 2 games ahead of Michigan Center for the East. Grass Lake plays at Center Thursday night for an absolutely massive Cascades conference game. I plan on going to that Thursday night. We have Jackson College Wednesday night.
Yep.
And then I will be going to Michigan Center Thursday night. And then we'll be at Northwest Friday as they take on Columbia, which we'll get to in a second. So, and then Michigan Center plays Leslie. Leslie's not too far behind them. What a schedule for Center this week. First, they lost to top 10 in Division II Onstead on Saturday, only by 3. And then, so they played Saturday. They played tonight, Monday, against Hanover. They played Leslie on Tuesday, and then Grass Lake on Thursday. An absolutely brutal, tough schedule this week for Michigan Center. For a team that really is still 13-4, they're a really good team, but again, it always sucks when we have super tight conference races because same thing with the girls in the East, right? There's out of the 6 teams, 3 or 4 of them are really, really good, and only one of them even gets to play for the conference championship. That's what sucks, and we've mentioned that before, and that's just like football too, right, in the Big Ten. But now there's no divisions, so I guess it really doesn't matter. But Grass Lake leading the Cascades East, and now in the West, Columbia 11-2 conference record, Hanover 9-3. They're only 2 games behind Columbia. Hanover playing at Columbia next Tuesday, the 11th. And if we're not live for that day, I might just have to go to that too. I got to catch a lot of basketball here. We're starting to get to that time of year where you got to hit a bunch of games because there's a lot of good games happening. And then Jonesville and Hanover actually tied for second at 9-3. And they all play each other one more time. So, and then going over to the girls' standings, only 4 out of the 6 teams in the East still have a chance to win the East and play in the conference championship. The Grass Lake girls still undefeated conference record. They play Michigan Center. We had the first meeting live on JTV at Center this Friday, and unfortunately, I'll have to miss that game because we'll be be at another game. We'll be at Northwest playing Columbia. Leslie playing Center, and Grass Lake playing Leslie again, and hopefully fans and coaches don't get run out of the gym anymore because of poor sportsmanship by the visiting Leslie team from the first girls game.
That happened?
Yeah, I think I shared it on the show a couple weeks ago. The girls game at Grass Lake. Very poor sportsmanship.
Yeah, you were there for that.
I was.
Yeah.
I was sitting up in the box. It's nice when nobody else is up there. I have the box to myself. It's kind of weird because everybody's looking this way, but yeah, and that's on the Leslie side too. So it was brutal. But it's gonna be a fight in both the girls and the boys for the Cascades East, and then the girls in the West. Columbia is only 2 games ahead of 1.5 or 2 games ahead of Jonesville. Jonesville's playing at Columbia next week on Wednesday. In the Cascades Championship, of course, the winner of the East versus the winner of the West. The Boys Championship next Saturday, the 15th, and then the girls the following Saturday, the 22nd, both at Spring Arbor, 7 o'clock on those Saturday nights. I will be there. I'm looking forward to that. And then right after that, girls championship, that Monday the 24th, is boys districts. So,
quick question: who do you have to win the championship? Each of them.
I mean, I think it's going to end up being Grass Lake Columbia, both boys and the girls. Now, that's how it was with the girls last year. Grass Lake pretty much ran them out of the gym by like 20-something. And I think the same thing's going to happen as long as Grass Lake can take care of Center and or Leslie, one of the two, in the next week or two for the girls. So, but I think it's pretty much the same thing will happen. Grass Lake will go to Spring Arbor and dominate and win the girls' championship for, I think this would be the 9th year in a row. They've either won it outright or shared it. I know. And then for the boys, I mean, I don't see why Grass Lake wouldn't. You know what I mean? They're undefeated right now. As long as nothing drastic happens, they're just going to keep rolling. So I'm going to go Grass Lake versus Columbia as well for the boys, with Grass Lake winning. So,
wow, all right.
First conference championship since 1971 it would be for the boys at Grass Lake, and the first since last year for the girls. It was funny in our trivia question in the broadcast Friday, in the boys game, Noah, he puts together the questions, and he did, when was the last time Grass Lake boys won the Cascades Conference Championship? His answer on screen said 1955. Now, in the banner in the gym, it says 55 and then 1971. But if you go to the Cascades Conference website, it does not have Grass Lake as 1971.
So they just give themselves the championship in 71 just because they wanted to?
We're not sure what happened. If somebody played on the 19... No,
Please.
I doubt that.
No,
but
hey,
no, if somebody played or knows, we want to clear that up.
What happened?
I don't know. Like, there's 3 different things saying different answers.
Oh, that's weird.
So I gave Pat half a point for that.
That's fair. Just
I even let him phone a friend in the first game.
Who'd he call?
I forget. I forget. I forget who he texted. But also Lumen Christie boys getting a win on Friday night. Sneaking away with a win, 40-38 in overtime. They beat Northwest last Monday, but they struggled. And then they won 40-38 this past Friday against a Ann Arbor Father Gabriel Richard team, who I believe was 4-9 coming in, and Lumen won by 2 in overtime with them. And with the way Grass Lake's been playing, I really don't know who's going to win that district.
Yeah.
Hosted by Hanover. Hanover, Grass Lake, Lumen. We all got to show up when that time comes. I feel like that's a bad gym to host it in, though. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a smaller gym.
Yeah, I feel like
Lumen and Grass Lake always bring crowd.
It's an awesome gym, but it's just small. So I don't know what they're gonna do about that. It'll be standing room only. I'll tell you that.
Oh, absolutely. Right up to baseline, gonna be just packed. But nonetheless, again, photos from all the sports, not just basketball, but other high school sports, on our website too, at JTV.TV. And then our Center for Family Health daily scoreboard as well. So thanks to the center for sponsoring that. And thanks to our team who helps put it together online at JTV.TV. Got a good show coming up for you today, Saturday night, right at around 1:30 in the morning. An absolute just bomb of an NBA trade that I don't think literally anybody in the world could have expected happened. I think Adam's still starstruck.
I just can't. I'm just so stunned. Like, what the heck are we doing, Dallas? What are you doing?
Plus, we're going to talk to Magic Johnson. Kind of.
Andy did, at least.
Yeah. We, in this room, talked to Magic Johnson. So that's all coming up on today's show. We'll be right back. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. And thank you to Pataki Orthodontics, a great smile as always in style at Pataki, located in Grass Lake, Hillsdale, and Coldwater. And drove by their office on the way to Grass Lake High School Friday. The weather was much better on the way there than on the way back.
Oops, sorry. I'm struggling, man. It's Monday.
I know. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting ride back. I mean, once we were at the game, it was raining getting to the game, and then once we were there, it was
our
snowing
rugs
like crazy.
caved in with the mud.
Yeah. And then it snowed.
So you couldn't even step on them by that point.
Yeah, and then it snowed, and then everything froze again. So then we were slipping and sliding all over the place. I was
on the way back.
I was dancing because I was trying to stand up straight and I couldn't. It was it was something else. I'll tell you.
Yeah, and even though I don't live that far from there, I thought I wasn't gonna make it to today like twice.
Oh, I was so happy that Brandon drove and I didn't drive because I did not want to have to drive.
Oh, that I don't know if you guys went this way, but the big or the slow, whatever you want to call it, the big curve around the soccer field.
Oh, okay. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I learned the hard way.
Icy? It was icy?
Oh, I was, I'm turning.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's really icy right in the, right in the main part of the curve there. So
and you just kept
I'm
going?
slipping, and then I just kind of did that.
Oh.
So I kind of went almost half the other way, and I'm like, no. Can't say what I want to say because we're on TV.
That's true.
And then I was able to stop at the stop sign fine. And then, you keep going, and then you turn left where the Buddy's gas station.
Yeah.
That turn left to go back to Michigan Ave, back west, I think. Yeah. I just went right through that intersection.
Oh, no.
I couldn't stop. And it's downhill, too, with the ice.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's scary.
But no, thanks to Grass Lake for having us. And it was packed in there. It was Winterfest, and the girls and the boys back to back. The cheerleaders were there for the first time, I think, ever, at least since even I was in school.
The band?
The band is on the court.
The band is on the court. There was we had to go through the auxiliary gym to be able to get our setup going, and yeah, they were setting up for the dance or something in there too. It was a whole thing.
The dance was Saturday.
My goodness.
So highlights from that on our website too, and pictures at jtb.tv. But if you missed the broadcast from both games, again, we'll have it coming up. We had it this past weekend, and we'll probably have one of the games again this coming weekend. But if you missed the full broadcast, here are a few highlights thanks to our crew and our sponsors from JTV Sports.
Super cold temperature.
That'd be a great night for soak and a great soak hot tub.
There you go. And we are underway from Grass Lake.
Got to be careful.
Rendell pass inside Tallman, turnaround shot, and it's good.
Look at that. What a start for the Pirates.
Thanks to push the pace. Already down in the paint with it. Here's Schultz. One-on-one. Underneath. Back to Lape. Our spotlight player hits a three.
We talked about it in the pregame. She can hit from behind the arc and nothing but net on that one. It's a Minuteman sewer and drain three-pointer for the Warriors.
They're checking in for Grass Lake. Darnell for three. That one's good, and Napoleon with the lead.
Just like that. Up by one. It's a Minuteman sewer and drain three-pointer for the Pirates.
No good.
A little bit of a heat check there by Darnell. Oh,
Starkey
nice
through contact, counted in a foul and a Dr. Ekbo and one.
David, that was sensational. Absolutely sensational ball handling.
Again, Napoleon down by three. Flack on the inside, shots off. Rebound Lape. On the fast break, Starkey with the advantage. And an easy finish, whipping and one. Contact from behind. Another Dr. Ekbo and one for Kate Starkey.
We've seen.
Can't have 2 or 3 fouls already if you're your best player. There's Starkey back to Bullock. Baseline jumper's good.
Drive and dish for Starkey. First quarter. Now you want to finish this last minute off. Nice drive.
Beekland with a nice step in a finish.
Who do you stop though? That's the problem for Napoleon.
A chance to get back on defense. Starkey gonna drive in, and the finish.
Boy, she is tough. Hesitation dribble. It's an 11-point lead.
Pass inside, back to Darnell. Fires a three and it's in.
Another Minuteman Sewer and Drain three-pointer.
Timeout, using that pressure and trap defense. Perfect read there by Saltz. It's taken away. Starkey for three. That one's good.
Nothing but net for the Minuteman Sewer and Drain three-pointer.
Grasslake still putting on some pressure on defense. Smolowski got a pump fake, drive in, loses it, gets it back and scores.
Beautiful head fake right there.
Saltz are going to check back in for the Warriors. Quick pass inside to Tallman for two, and it's a 10-point game.
It's been a very effective.
1:40 to play in the third quarter. Vigeland, nice step and a finish.
You know, that's a girl that we haven't talked a lot about, but you can see the ability there with that step through and drive to the hoop. It just, when they're going, they're so hard to stop. They've just got talent at all 5 positions.
Steal by Starkey with a pass from Vigeland.
David, I'm looking forward to the second game tonight. You know, you've got a Napoleon team that just, wow, what a shot right there.
Three-pointer there by the freshman Adeline Jarko, number 11. Pushing the pace here, under 5 to play. Starkey with a pull-up, and that shot's good. Grasslake piling it on here late.
That's Leah Starkey.
And usually Grasslake comes in averaging around 60 points a game. That three is good. There's the freshman Jarko again. Something up. 3:10 to play.
Nice
Gonna
ball.
swing it. There's Jarko again. Heat
Wow.
check. Another three.
Have a night, young lady. Wow. Good foul. Nice
Inside to Jarko. Counted in a foul.
Having a
Chance
great
at a
game.
three-point play.
look. I'll tell you, David.
Also in the conference championship, and then Michigan Center that we also had here on JTV. So that's going to do it. 60-26. Grasslake girls dominate the Pirates here in the first game of our. Obviously first in the Cascades East, 14-0. Here's Lape, back to Vitale with the pump fake. Deep two, shot's good, 1 for 1. Pass role player for them and now starting this year, and he's their leading scorer.
Good pass.
Nice pass from him, and a 2 for number 2.
Really, the Warriors playing right into the defensive strategy of the Pirates. Keeping everything out. Look at that.
Nice drive and a 2 by Tyler Nall, and Napoleon with an early lead. He's their 6th man coming off the bench for them. Beltran on the drive, and a tough finish with the left hand.
Yeah, you said it.
Beltran thought about it again.
Wow.
Puts on a move there, tries to go inside. A lot of contact, but a nice finish there and a basket by Nate Pettit.
Battle.
Here's Lape going baseline with the contact in the finish.
Did a good job gathering on the baseline there. Made sure he had the position. That was a really good, patient move on the baseline. There, out of the ball a little bit here. Reset.
Lape on the pull-up from the free throw line. And it's good. You can see why Lape averages 20 points a game for Tyler Nall. Leads the team in all categories right now. Nice pass to Service. And 2 points there makes it a 6-point game.
Well, I tell you what.
Pass there. Three-pointer open, and it's good.
They gave him 2. He must have been on the line there, David.
Again, he can be dangerous from 3. We've seen him get hot before. Drive inside. Nice finish by Brady McLean, the sophomore. A minute to play in the first half. Back to Lape. Puts it up and hits a 3.
Missed his first 3. He makes good on that one.
Beltran
working very hard.
Yeah, they're going to swing it. Lape inside, turns around, too easy, and 2 points.
Yeah, the hole in the 2-3 zone is typically the free throw line or the baseline. Coming in on 4 minutes without a bucket. It's actually a lot more than that.
Null for 3,
There we
much
go.
needed. Here we go.
It's a Minuteman Sewer and Drain three-pointer.
Collins, nice look inside, and 2 points for Bryant Cook.
What a way to impact the game.
You said 9 out of 10 earlier.
Right. Yeah, you 90% is pretty solid. It's like you at the free throw line. Get in there.
Corner 3,
There we
that
go.
one's good. Brady McLean.
Cuts the lead to 12. Good patience there by Cook.
Collins driving in, and he called bank. The bank was open there, Pat. 2 and 10 on Tuesday, beat them by about 87. There's a missed shot there. Offensive rebound and a nice finish by Bryant Cook. Excuse me, that's Collins. Makes it a 19-point game. Steal there and a finish by Vitale. Timeout call there. Coach Seidel in 5 days. Play Friday and then Monday, Tuesday back to back. And that's going to do it for this one. Grass Lake goes to 15-0 on the year as the number 6 Grass Lake Warriors win it here 46-21 over the Napoleon Pirates. Stay tuned. Our player of the game and our play of the game is coming up next here on JTV. Stay with us for more.
Welcome back here on JTV. Thanks again to Pataki and the Insurance Circle, and thanks to everybody at Grass Lake for having us. Always good to go back to Grass Lake and do a game there.
People are chanting your name.
They were not actually.
No, I heard
Friday.
I heard a few people calling out David Rice. I heard a few people.
You did?
I did.
I didn't
heard
hear
David Rice. Yeah.
I didn't hear it. Well, that's good. I don't want the attention.
Well, you were getting it still.
Well, it is what it is. And then the next night, I was up later, so I'm watching the Gonzaga St. Mary's game on ESPN. But I was watching Family Guy before that because that's just the number one show of all time for me, no question. And then that was done. It was on FX or FX, whatever. And then King of the Hill was on. I'm like, I'm not going to watch that.
Oh, I love King of the Hill.
No, I like it,
Yeah,
but
okay.
there was still basketball. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to flip it, but it says Sports Center in there. But I tune in, and the end of that Gonzaga St. Mary's game is on. And there's only a couple minutes left. And then right as that happens, Shams from ESPN drops just an absolute just shocker. Everybody's still stunned by it today. The fact that Luka and LeBron are going to be playing on the same team and they're going to win 1 to 2 championships together now that this happened. And I was watching when this happened live.
Word of a massive trade in the NBA. The Lakers have traded Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Luka Doncic. What? In a 3-team deal. You can listen to that on Sports Center later on tonight with Kevin Connors and Amina Smith after this game.
Yeah.
What?
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 So yeah, that was something.
What a crazy, crazy trade. When I saw it, I saw it on social media and it popped up and it was just a picture of the two of them. And it was like trade, and I was just like, it's not real. And then I looked at the name, and it said Adam Schefter, and I was like, I was like, it's real. That's crazy. I thought it was fake.
So the Lakers get Kleber, Markieff Morris, who was on that 2020 championship team, coming back to LA. I saw that.
What?
And Luka from the Mavs for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick. Right now, Luka's hurt. I don't know when he's coming back. I think it's still not for another few games. But so far this year, 8 and 8 per game in just 22 games so far played.
And you're adding that with LeBron,
who's still averaging, I think 25 or 6 in his 21st season, 22nd.
So crazy.
And AD's averaging 26, 12, and 3. And he's played almost every game and was just named as an all-star for the 10th time.
What do you think?
I think the Dallas Mavericks their GM's an idiot. That's what I think. I think that's what everybody else thinks, too. You said it when you came in this morning. That was the fleece of the century.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was.
Yeah.
Why they felt like he wasn't a part of the building blocks, so call it, for the future.
Doesn't make any sense.
He just carried your team to the finals. They have Kyrie, but
He still did. It was still him.
he
still his
carried a
show.
team.
Yeah.
It's a 24-year-old, now 25, to the finals. To 6 games with Boston? I think it was 6.
People were arguing that you could almost give him MVP after losing because he did so well in that series.
Right. And this offseason, if he would have stayed with them, he would have signed almost a $300 million Supermax extension. So 25-year-old. When have you ever had that happen?
Yeah.
Very rarely. Most guys get drafted unless if they're one and done. Besides that, you come in the NBA at what, 21?
Yeah.
22?
Man.
And he came in the league at 19?
Crazy.
And the Mavericks had major concerns with his conditioning and his impending potential Supermax extension. Now, according to some reports, he is almost 270, and he's the 7th heaviest player in the NBA.
Watch out, Zion.
Well, he's not missing team flights for Wendy's.
Gotta get that Wendy's.
Yeah. I just don't. Who cares? No, about the weight thing. Who cares?
I just didn't expect that to be your reaction.
No, because he already weighed 250 something before, right?
Sure. I mean, I can see that being a concern, and I'm okay with that being concerned. But for that to be,
They were worried about his
enough,
weight and his defense. Now his defense, like,
sure,
personally
but
understand,
okay, if we're rating top 5 players in the NBA today, would he make your top 5?
yeah.
That's why it's crazy. I don't care about the weight. I don't care about anything else because Zion,
just in that part alone,
right. So yeah, I mean, I said it before, is the fleece of the century. I believe it is. I think Anthony Davis is still very good, but he's starting the downturn, I feel like. And Luka's just going to go up. But I mean, at least the Lakers now have their centerpiece to go with LeBron for the next few years, and then to go on in the future, as long as that organization doesn't screw it up like Dallas did. Because I mean, like, Dallas, your goal is to win a championship, and I don't understand how they could see that this would help them to win a championship. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
And they got their piece, like you just mentioned, after LeBron is gone. They still have another franchise player for the next potentially 10 years.
Right. And now what Klay Thompson must be thinking, it's like, all right, now I'm on this team, and it's like, we don't know what we're doing. And
right. What's he going to do in the next year or two? Kyrie with Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's still 6'3" players to have Anthony Davis, Kyrie, and Klay
it's still
Thompson.
a decent team.
But it's just not, I don't believe that they will be better off and be more favorites to win a championship than, it just doesn't make any sense. I think Luka really tied that team together, and I think the Lakers, I'd be shocked if you can't consider the Lakers at this point a championship contender, if not like top 3 to win the title.
What I don't get is everybody on like SportsCenter right when the news broke and Stephen A. and they were all talking about it, Kendrick Perkins. Now I discredit him because he's the worst sports personality on
Agreed.
TV. But even Stephen A. was saying, well, next year they're going to be title contenders. Don't count them in this year. Why not this year? They're already fourth in
Talking about the Lakers?
Yeah.
What?
They're
No.
all saying next year.
Oh, this year they can still do it. They are contenders.
They're
this year.
fourth in the West.
Do you want
It's
to
not
face
like
them
they're
in the
fighting for a
playoffs?
play-in.
Yeah, do you want to face them in the playoffs? Now, one thing to count, like, they're big. They don't have great bigs.
And that's that's the issue they will eventually run into in the playoffs when they play against, I don't know, maybe a guy named Jokic.
Right.
Or a big from
just
OKC.
to get out of the West. That was just to get out of the West. You got to go through Jokic. So.
Right. But I think besides that, well,
you put LeBron and Luka on the same team. That's X amount of points every single game. They're going to both average around 30 points for the season. So
right.
It's like that combined with a few of their other pieces that they have. That team is looking real nasty.
Yeah. Reeves has been a solid third option for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Behind LeBron and AD.
Hachimura's been playing pretty
Hachimura,
good.
Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be okay. But, the West, but Stephen A. was saying not this year, though. Next year. Why not this year? Again, they're only fourth or fifth. They're still only fourth or fifth in the West.
They will make the Western Conference semifinals, I think, will be their floor, if I had to say. And then their ceiling was probably a finals berth. I don't know if they win, but they could,
But you take the best team in the East against anybody in the West, and how do they stack up? Because now with the West,
Celtics are the best team in basketball, you can argue.
okay,
I think it's Celtics. Celtics are in the are in the finals, I believe, this year. I think it's the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe, are them and Cleveland. I think that's the Eastern Conference Finals is Boston, Cleveland, and then the West, there can be so many. You could have OKC in there. You can put LA in there. I could see Denver being in there. There's a lot of teams that could fit.
now really the only two for me out of the East for sure, Boston and Cleveland. But now the West, there's so many teams who
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
have the potential, like the Lakers,
OKC.
Denver, OKC. Memphis is third in the West. You know, they won't go to the finals or the conference finals, but just teams that are good enough to make a run, right? Denver, Lakers, OKC, Memphis. Dallas is still a solid team.
Yeah.
AD and Kyrie. Also in the West, let's see. And I'm just trying to think.
Well, I mean, just in general, the West is loaded, and I think the Lakers needed something to help them get over the hump. I didn't think by keeping Anthony Davis that was really going to help him get there, but between this you have
Houston, they're third in the West.
They've been playing great. Yeah, Sengun has been playing out of his mind. Yeah,
LA, Denver, OKC, Memphis, Dallas, Houston. Also, the Clippers are not far behind the Lakers.
No. And then the Spurs got help. They got De'Aaron Fox in a trade.
Right. So there's, 8 teams right there. Minnesota. If Durant and Booker start playing well together. So the West is loaded almost from top to bottom. So, also quick NBA, De'Aaron Fox. Speaking of the Spurs.
De'Aaron Fox goes to the Spurs and Levine to the Kings. That picks to the Bulls. So in a 3-team trade, we'll see how. It's Wembanyama, it's Chris Paul, and De'Aaron Fox. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. Also Jimmy Butler.
He says he will absolutely not go to the Warriors, which is very interesting. It's like him and Steph would be kind of cool, but he wants to go somewhere else.
Where he knows he can be the for sure number one
probably
guy.
And have a good shot at winning the championship. But it's like, man, you go to a team like that, if you want to be the number one guy and you want to try to win a championship, it's just like, well, I don't know. You might not be able to get both.
Jimmy, Curry, Draymond. I would say it's a pretty good
cool.
team.
Yeah.
And switching gears here, back to high school basketball.
Okay.
I mentioned earlier, there's a guy named Irvin Johnson.
Yeah. You may have heard of him.
You may have heard of him, also known as Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know, he actually is, obviously went to Michigan State, but he played for Everett in Lansing, Everett High School. And it was around this time, 50 years ago, he got the nickname Magic. And last week, our own Andy Hawley had the chance, to scramble in the studio and get on to interview him. Had a chance to talk to the Magic Johnson. That was pretty cool, by the way.
Yeah, kind of commemorating him getting his nickname and the game that it happened at was at Parkside, so you'll hear him talk about that
right
a lot.
Here. Yep.
So that's really cool. I couldn't believe it happened, and I guess Andy found out this was going to happen within like 5 minutes before it happened. So he pretty much scrambled in here and did it. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see Magic Johnson on JTV.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen it yet, we have the clip, right?
Yes, we do.
All right. Well, let's take a look if you haven't seen it.
Hey, Magic, Andy Hawley. I'm in Jackson, where 50 years ago, you got the nickname. It was last Friday. You were given the nickname after that legendary performance. I wonder what you remember about that game itself. I'm going to mention a couple names, some guys you played against in that game. Dave Sierra, Rocky Hester, Frank Hampton. And then also, did the location of that game add to your performance? If you remember, Parkside had the dome. There weren't too many of them. Portable floor, portable baskets, kind of an arena style. Just tell me what you remember from that game, that experience.
I think you're right, Andy. It was the dome. It was something we hadn't seen in high school ever. They had the best building in the whole state of Michigan, and also too they had, I knew they had tradition, right? And so going down to coming to Jackson, for me it was great, to know that some of my friends, because when you're in Jackson, Lansing and Jackson, we play against each other in the summer and that whole thing. So I knew some of those guys. But that's when I just started feeling really good about where I was. Because you have to remember, my first high school game, I didn't play that well at Hope, and so step by step, I was getting more comfortable. And then I was really rolling by the time I got to Parkside. And man, and when you start hitting them first 5 or 6 baskets, I got into my rhythm and my groove, and I knew it was going to be a long night for Parkside. And I didn't know it was going to be all of that. And it just naturally happened. And then after the game, Andy, Fred came in, I get to know the guys, like I know Jack, I know all of you guys, and it's great that I'm friends with Fred, so we get to know each other. And so Fred Stabley Jr., I knew his dad working at Michigan State, and then he walks in and he said he got to give me a nickname. Andy, I never thought in my wildest dreams that this name would stick. And, because on my team always called me Big E, call me EJ, or Yo E, Yo, and so we had those things going on. So when he came in with this Magic thing, I was like, nobody's going to call me Magic. I'm 15 years old, like, my boys are not going to call me Magic, But Andy, what happened was, it actually, as I started playing, and I kept going after Jackson Parkside, my boy Reggie Chastain, who had played the other guard, said, man, that name fits you. And then every headline was now not Irvin Johnson anymore. It's Irvin Magic Johnson. And then it just became Magic Johnson. And now I don't think nobody know Irvin. Everywhere I go around the world, they just call me Magic. And so Fred was right. Can you imagine this, Andy? This is the crazy thing. It wasn't in LA that I got the name. It wasn't somebody in LA giving me the name. This happened in Lansing, Michigan. And now everybody in the world knows, if you say Magic, who you're talking about. So kudos to him. Listen, I got lifelong friends in this business, Tim Stout and Jack. And, I know so many guys who been around me for a long time, and I appreciate that. And so Fred is just another one. And Jackson Parkside, Jackson High, I remember seeing Tony Dungy with the white shoes. See, people forget Tony Dungy actually was the first big athlete like that, right? And he had them white shoes on. So I said, I want some white shoes like Tony Dungy, because he looked so good. He looked the part, See, I can go all the way back. Listen, I know everything about Lansing and Jackson. Any athlete, I know them, and that was my thing. So thank you for that, Andy, because that's where it all, in terms of the nickname, but also too, that game just made me take off and really took my whole basketball game to another level because of that game. And I had the right coach. You got to give Coach Fox a lot of credit. for allowing me to have the ball in my hand and still being the tallest dude on the team. See, most coaches would have never allowed that to happen. Stay at the center position, don't handle the ball. But Coach Fox let me do my thing, and it turned out great for all of us. Great question. Thank you.
Welcome back here on JTV. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. So before the break and before we showed the clip of Magic, we're talking about some big basketball breaking news that happened over the weekend. You have breaking news to share, non-sports breaking news. I have no clue what this is.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard this, so it could just, you might have already heard this, but it was breaking news to me. But according to the Detroit Free Press, officially, Faster Horses has been canceled.
I did see that.
Oh, he saw it.
I did see it over the weekend, and actually I saw it about 28 times because I'm in the Faster Horses like Facebook group with like thousands of people.
I saw it come across on the Free Press, and I was just like, it said like 30 minutes ago, so I was like, oh.
So many people that I know go to it or have been.
A lot of people in this area do. A lot of people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if not just people from this area because it's in Brooklyn at MIS, but really surrounding, a lot of people are disappointed because last weekend they were supposed to announce the dates. Right around this time is when they announced the dates. And then the lineup again in a few weeks. So
they give a reason?
They wanted to make the show bigger and better for next year. But they actually had a bunch. I'm sure something happened, but they're not going to share it.
Right.
But there is a bunch of other events happening, though, around that weekend. There was one weekend open in July on MIS's website, not with something on their calendar. So people already started taking their time off, even though they didn't even announce it yet. In that group, people were like, oh, it's going to be July 18th through 20th. If that's the only thing open, I'm going to take work off now.
Wow.
And then they come back and say, oh, it's not even happening this year.
Man. Well,
this was going to be the year I was actually going to go with some people. I was thinking about it, or next year. You know what? It gives me an extra year to prepare for what you witness there.
That's right. That's right.
So, I know you haven't been to You haven't been there, have you?
Never been to Faster Horses.
Have you been to any other festival similar to that? Like a
not really
multi-day,
a music. I've never been to a music festival. I've been to like tons of concerts, but never like an actual like festival before. I always wanted to go to Warped Tour. That was like the thing back in the day for like my age group, was to go to Warped Tour, and that's something I never did. Saw a lot of those bands that would have been at Warped Tour, but not there.
You know, what would be cool? Two of them here, but one, the first thing that'd be cool to go to, and you know, I mostly just, listen to country, and there's a few of them in that genre there, but Lollapalooza in Chicago, and then the other
I would
one.
love to go to Lollapalooza.
Yeah, and then the other one, Stagecoach.
Is that like a country one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
In California.
I would love. This is not a festival, but I would love to go to see a concert at Red Rocks. That's what like on my bucket list of like venues to go see.
I have, not for a concert, but I have been to Red Rocks before.
You guys are just like you're just visiting?
Yeah, we were in Colorado, and I have cousins that live out there. So we're visiting them. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago already, but we went there to the Garden of the Gods right there in Pikes Peak Mountain. So I have been there, and it's really cool to see all the way up and then go all the way down to the stage there, and then
could you go to the stage, or like is that like completely open?
It's a long
but is that completely open though, or is it like a normal venue where it's like you can't get in? Because I know some places like
it was open to a certain extent when you get close to it. But you could walk to a lot, pretty close to it. But it was, some people don't get it just based on the videos, but it's so way up there, can be filled with people.
That's cool.
So it's too far of a walk.
Yeah.
But what was the breaking news again? I just spaced out.
You're fine. It was Faster Horses was canceled.
Oh yeah,
but you said you already had that.
But no, I haven't been to a show there before.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I did hear about that, and some people still in that Facebook group are starting to share like posters and ads for other,
music festivals.
other festivals now. How about we go to this?
Oh boy.
Or how about we go to that? And somebody, I don't remember the person's name, not that I would say their name here and anyways, but they were like, how about we just throw one in my backyard? Everybody bring their campers.
Noah Baker said this.
Well, he can probably hear it from where he's at.
Yeah, I bet he can.
And he probably doesn't appreciate it. Because that's not his kind of music.
No, definitely not.
Creed is.
He's a big fan of Creed. If you ever run into Noah, talk to him about his love of the band Creed.
No, don't tell him
Do
that.
it.
NFL news again. Super Bowl coming up for the second time in 3 years Sunday. Chiefs and the Eagles. Kendrick Lamar at halftime. Wednesday show, we are going to be doing some prop bets for it.
Yeah, I got some fun bets that we can do. That everything from the coin toss to certain commercials, all that good stuff. So we'll go through. That'll kind of be one of our main segments. So we'll go through. We'll pick them and we'll kind of give our predictions for the game and all that good stuff.
Do you have any now that you know of that we're gonna share?
Huh?
Any bets now? Like
like an example, like the coin toss. I was gonna say I haven't looked up right now, but like the over under for the national anthem, they have the exact number. There's videos out there.
Are you kidding me? Somebody does that for the national anthem?
I bet a couple years ago. I bet on the national anthem, and it was the one with Gladys Knight. So whatever one that was, but there's video of me screaming at my TV. Like, come on, Gladys. I'm like, keep going.
Hurry up.
Yeah, it was funny.
We need to see.
Yeah, there's got to be video somewhere. There's on video on somebody's Snapchat, I know for sure. But yeah. So there'll be ones like that, Gatorade color, stuff like that. So I'll have a big list. We'll go through, and then maybe we'll do
faster. Keep going.
Maybe we'll do something for the winner. We'll figure it out.
I'm not wearing a Lions jersey
we're not gonna
again.
do that.
Okay.
No, we'll figure something
Thank you.
out. No, we'll figure something out. But yeah, we got that, and then the only other big news in the NFL is Myles Garrett requested a trade out of Cleveland.
I don't blame him. Cleveland's terrible.
Yeah. But he pretty much said in the note, like, I want to win a Super Bowl. I won't be able to do that here, so I'm looking to be traded. It's just kind of like, ooh.
Well, pretty much everybody already knew that. He probably didn't have to include that in this letter.
Sure.
Probably didn't even write a letter anyways.
Yeah.
Cleveland doesn't deserve that.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Well, Cleveland will be looking for a new edge rusher.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And Baltimore will be looking for a new kicker.
Probably.
Maybe.
Hey, come on over to Cleveland. We'll welcome you here, open arms.
Well, they welcomed Deshaun Watson.
They did.
They had Kareem Hunt on their team, too, at one point.
That's right.
The Ravens had Ray Rice, too, at one point. I'm sorry.
Your brother.
And my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin. Yeah.
Cousin, I'm sorry. Your cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cousin from couldn't think.
No,
I couldn't
stop
come
now.
up. Okay,
Stop
well
now.
there. And I don't watch a lot of hockey, but the Red Wings have won six in a row?
Yeah, 6 straight wins.
Since they fired the coach, and they've been doing a lot better, right?
I think their win rate since firing the coach is like an 85% win rate right now since they fired him. So yeah, they've been tearing it up. So good to see them doing well. Pistons kind of doing the same thing that they've been doing, but the Tigers.
Cade is an all-star.
Much
deserved.
He's playing his butt off. He's been looking great. And then lastly, the Tigers they signed Alex Cobb earlier, so it helped our rotation. Gleyber Torres.
Yep.
We just got Jack Flaherty. It was like we loaned him to the Dodgers so he could go home, win a World Series, and then come right back to us. I love that because the big thing that kind of one of the big failures of our team this year was starting pitching. We go get a veteran Alex Cobb. We bring back, other than Skubal, our best pitcher throughout that first half of the season, obviously, because then we traded him. So we get him back. He's going to be our number 2. Alex Cobb 3. Our young guys coming after. I like the way our team's shaping up. I know people are not excited that we haven't made any big moves, but of the moves we made so far, I'm satisfied. You don't want to break up the team too much.
And there's other shows and other people that I've listened to, like the Tiger. It's been disappointing. They have to make a huge move to really take their next step.
There's still some people available,
No, they don't.
But I think here's the thing, like there's some positions where it's like I don't want us to like right now, like all right, defensively, like I like our outfield defensively.
Right.
If the hitting can come together, then that's good. So it's like I don't want to get rid of somebody like Parker Meadows who started playing extremely well second half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, because you got Riley and Meadows in the outfield.
Trust some of these young guys. We got these young guys out there, and hope that Torque starts playing a little bit better. And I think Gleyber Torres was a good addition. Of all the second basemen, he's the number one second baseman that was available free agency. So I'm happy that we got him. And I think there's maybe one or two smaller transactions we'll make. I don't know if we'll go big and get like a Bregman or somebody big, but we'll see. I mean, pitchers and catchers report soon. So
do the Tigers have the room for that as far as money?
Remember, there's no cap. It's just you spend what you want to spend, but we don't have that much a high payroll. I mean, we're paying Javi Baez still a lot of money, which I know that's my reaction to, but we're no longer paying Cabrera's contract, so that freed up a lot of money. So yeah, I mean, we probably still have a little bit of money to do something. So we'll see how aggressive we are, and maybe we keep that aggression towards the halfway point in the season, go down to the trade deadline, and maybe we'll make a big move that way, depending on how we play. So so excited for Tigers baseball to be almost back.
I know, and they report in a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's not that long. Pitcher catchers report, and then before winter meetings, I think are right around the corner, maybe another week, and then pitchers catchers report, and then spring training will begin.
Yep, and then pretty much in a month and a half, the regular season starts. 2 months.
Yep.
April, that first couple days of April.
Yep, April in the D.
Yep. Looking forward to it. We got to get to a couple Tigers games this year. Do a JTV Tigers
I have an
game.
idea. We are going to do, this is me just run it by you right now, but we're just going to do it. We're going to do a David Rice show during a Tigers game at Comerica Park.
During a game?
We're going to do it. There's a way to do it.
And how are we going to do this?
I will tell you about it, but we are going to find a way to do this.
This is news to me. I'm just hearing about this.
I'm just telling you now. I don't care it's on air, but yeah, we'll figure it out. But there's a way.
Do the people who sign our paychecks?
Don't worry.
Nah, it'll be fine. They only pay us.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Well, again, real quick, subscribe to JTV Sports, and Wednesday night we will be at Jackson College, men's and women's doubleheader. Men's team really looking to get a win. They've been struggling most of the year, and the women's team is having an exceptional season. And then we'll be back in Mountie Nation Friday as they take on Columbia Central in a non-conference battle starting at 6:45. So that's Adam. I'm David. Thanks to our sponsors and our crew, and thanks to the Insurance Circle Agency. We will talk to you Wednesday.